know, so the intensity of just being that focused on doing it allowed him to achieve this in a short period of time. He was able to do it because, you know, like financially, I was supporting the idea, and I believe you could do it. He had moved to California and was working with acting coaches, and his dad didn't know that he was actually doing that.
What's the best memory of 50 Cent?
Best memory of 50 Cent? Ever since I met 50 Cent, he's always been stand-up and probably the most truthful person I've ever met, you know.
But the internet was tearing Lil Meech up for allegedly running through $5 million in 3 years.
You understand what I'm saying? But to be young and have money, it's crazy because we was young and had money before, so I understand. Motherfucker got Richard Millie's, Lil Meech got Richard Millie's chrome hard jeans, 10,000. I buy some chrome hards for 10,000. I might wear them shits for a month, bro.
50 Cent is airing out some serious family drama between Big Meech and Lil Meech, and according to 50, Big Meech sabotaged his own son's career on purpose, all because he was salty over Lil Meech's bond with 50. Now, if you've been keeping up with the BMF saga, then you already know 50 put Lil Meech on. Nobody was checking for Lil Meech before 50 handed him the role of a lifetime, making him the face of the BMF series, a show about his own father's legacy. And keep in mind that Lil Meech wasn't even an actor at first. 50 put him through acting lessons, helped him clean up his life, and even paid for his rehab to get him back on track. But here's where it gets wild. As soon as Big Meech got out of prison, instead of showing love to 50 for putting his son on, he went and linked up with Rick Ross, of all people. And you already know how 50 feels about Ross.
Is there anything about Ross and his career that you have any respect for?
Oh, no, there's nothing there. There's nothing there. I never wanted to work with him.
So when 50 saw Big Meech with Ross, he went scorched earth on the Flannerys, accusing Big Meech of being a snitch and pulling the plug on the BMF show. And here's where it gets even crazier. Lil Meech first tried to stay on 50's good side and even texted him to say he has no love for Ross. However, when 50 showed him no mercy, Lil Meech switched up and he just linked up in Miami with Ross and Floyd Mayweather.
Lil Meech took a picture with Rick Ross and Floyd Mayweather just to get 50 Cent upset after he cut off his money supply. And by that, I mean he's canceling BMF on Stars.
But it looks like Lil Meech might have played himself with this one because he allegedly already blew through the $5 million he made from the show in just 3 years. And the wildest part is that he didn't even invest in a business. Instead, he out there blowing money on parties, luxury watches, and allegedly even dropping $100,000 on jeans. Now, when this drama first blew up, fans were calling out 50 for being petty and doing too much. However, it looks like the public's now taking 50's side, and fans are saying he did the right thing by cutting off the Flannerys because they just proved they're not built for loyalty, don't appreciate real opportunities, and clearly have no business sense. But what exactly did 50 spill about Big Meech's relationship with his own son? Did Big Meech really fumble Lil Meech's whole future out of jealousy over his bond with 50? Let's break this down.
My dad looked out for a lot of people, and 50 ain't do half, like, 50 literally looked out for my dad more than people that my dad gave millions to.
It's been almost a month since this drama between 50 Cent and Big Meech first exploded, and instead of dying down, it's only getting messier by the day. Just when we thought 50 had said all he had to say, he's back with another bombshell, and this time he's claiming that Big Meech sabotaged his own son's future out of jealousy. According to 50, Big Meech knew exactly what he was doing when he linked up with Rick Ross after getting out of prison, and that's because he got insecure over Lil Meech having a stronger bond with 50 than with him. Alright, so for context, when 50 first started calling out Big Meech earlier this month, Lil Meech noticed that 50 unfollowed him, and he immediately started panicking because BMF was his main source of income, and without 50, things were looking real shaky for Lil Meech. That's when Lil Meech texted 50, trying to play it cool and being all respectful, claiming he's always been loyal and even saying he'd do anything for 50. Lil Meech wrote, "They just told me you unfollowed me on Instagram and now you managing Skillababy with Rocket when I brought him around you first when you didn't have a clue who he was. Now you mad at me when I would take my shirt off my back for you. I can't believe this, man. You act as if I'm your enemy. I've only shown you love and loyalty. I'm human, I go through my own ish, but I never switched up on you." Lil Meech also tried to distance himself from his dad's connection with Rick Ross and added, "F Ross, but he gave my dad some bread so he can afford to pay his bills until our next season starts. This internet ish is throwing me off, man. You know me in real life." But Lil Meech's message didn't hit the way he thought it would because 50 wasn't trying to hear it at all. In fact, 50 went full petty mode and posted the screenshots of Lil Meech's message for the world to see. Fiddy also made it clear that there was no coming back from this, basically telling Lil Meech to forget about next season because BMF is officially done for. Fiddy captioned his post saying, "What next season?" And then he shared another petty message saying Lil Meech's next acting role will be on Love and Hip Hop Atlanta. Fiddy wrote, "I'll give Mona Scott a call for him later today." Now, at first, fans and even a few industry figures felt like Fiddy was doing too much, and they were saying he was taking things too far by punishing Lil Meech for his father's mistakes. A lot of people felt like Lil Meech was just caught in the middle and didn't deserve to have his whole career snatched away over Big Meech's decision to link up with Ross. Even Boozy chimed in, saying that instead of begging Fiddy to reconsider, Lil Meech should have stood on business and went off on Fiddy for disrespecting his dad.
About, man, Meek, but I don't know. Lil Meech, I ain't like his response. It seemed like he got a genuine kind of love for 50 on his response. But, you know, my response, man, you. Nigga, that's my daddy, nigga, you. Let's go to war, you. And everything you. I don't know what Meech was on something. That's my paw. I don't give a right, wrong. I don't give a. Is it my son? My ain't gonna go against this grain. That I was like, damn, you know, like seemed like him and 50 got a, you know, cause after that then came out how Meech was talking all, you know, like, no, all y'all. I'm with my dad, you know.
But that's when Fiddy decided to clear the air and let everybody know it's deeper than that. He responded to Boozy's comments, basically saying that both Big Meech and Lil Meech know the truth. And the truth is, Fiddy did more for Lil Meech than his own father ever did. Fiddy shared a clip of Boozy talking about the situation, and he wrote in the caption, "I did more for Mimi than anyone in his life, Boozy. That's why he responded like that. If he get locked up, I'm the first person he call. Bailed him out every time." But that's not all. In another recent IG post, Fiddy broke down exactly why he thinks things went left between him and Big Meech, and he claims that it all comes back to jealousy. According to Fiddy, Big Meech couldn't stand to see that Lil Meech had a closer bond with Fiddy than with him, and that's why he decided to block his own son's bag. Fiddy also claimed that Big Meech has always been a negative influence on his son, pushing him to use substances and spend money recklessly. Meanwhile, Fiddy says he was the one who acted like a real father figure and got Lil Meech on the right path. And here's the craziest part. Fiddy also revealed that while they were filming BMF, Lil Meech had a full breakdown due to substance issues, and Fiddy was the one who had to step up and get him the help he needed. "I thought about it. I think he was uncomfortable with me and Mimi's relationship," Fiddy wrote. "I'm telling Mimi I don't want him doing X. He telling him he used to do X like it's cool. I tell Mimi, chill, stop spending all your money. He telling him how much money he blew. People don't know I had to send Mimi to rehab. Russell Hornsby peeped he was high AF on set. He started throwing up at weapons test. Then Ian told me the little dude had whippets in his truck. I said, what the F is whippets? I look, and it's the ish that be in BB guns." Fiddy also previously put Big Meech on blast, saying he single-handedly ruined his own son's future. And the craziest part is, he did it by linking up with Rick Ross, who did absolutely nothing for Lil Meech while Big Meech was locked up. And then Fiddy also reminded Big Meech that Lil Meech used to date Rick Ross's daughter, meaning Ross was basically family at one point, and yet Ross still never did a thing for the Flannerys. Fiddy posted some old footage of Lil Meech with Ross's daughter, Toy Roberts, and wrote, "Why old boy didn't look out for Mimi and send him to acting school, big screech? All your people that was out did nothing for him. You come home thinking you the Black Pablo Escobar and effed him up. I helped your family make over $5 million legit dollars. It's not my fault it's all gone." Now, speaking of these $5 million, this is where it gets really messy. So the reason Lil Meech is spiraling right now is because he allegedly burned through all that money in just 3 years. On top of that, he got too comfortable, thinking Fiddy's generosity and the money flow would never stop. But now that Fiddy cut him off, reality is hitting hard. Now, the wild part is that Lil Meech reportedly blew through all that $5 million on stuff like cars, clothes, and jewelry. He didn't invest in a business or do anything smart with the money. And it gets worse. According to Tony Yayo, Lil Meech was acting entitled, like people were just supposed to hand him money. Meanwhile, Lil Yayo said Lil Meech was out here dropping $100,000 on jeans like it was nothing.
And then on Meech end, I look at that was bad management too, because we just was over there. We just took a picture with you at your house. But I felt like when we left there, it was a money thing, because what Lil Meech said about the Ferrari and little baby having 4 pockets full of money and didn't give his pops nothing. You know what I'm saying? Me, I would have never, I wouldn't even have mentioned no like that in front of real anyway. That's just me. But Meech is a little kid and it's understandable. He's young, make mistakes. You know what I'm saying? When you look at Fifth, we just came off 103 dates. All Meech had to do was ask 50 to do the show anywhere. He gonna sell it out? For me, if I was management, I would say, yo, Meech, why you going with Ross? Ross do shows, but not like that. Go with 50, he just did 103 dates. They book him in Dubai, Abu Dhabi. Go with 50, and 50 will help you with the concert. And then all of this online wouldn't be happening. But 50's crazy, and once he feel disrespected, he feel disrespected, and it even goes with me. If that nigga feel disrespected with me, and listen, it's not riding, it's just how this nigga Boo-Boo been his whole life. He used to come to the block and start trouble on 134. When we was on 134, rest in peace, Kev Brock, and Kendu and Mutt and all them was up there, I done heard say, uh-oh, this coming, and uh-oh, this got his Halloween mask on. This ain't nothing for me, it ain't nothing new. But if you with a, if I help you out, help your son out while you in jail, then you with a I don't with, that look crazy.
What makes this whole situation even crazier is that Lil Meech himself admitted that when he first met Fiddy, he was lost, had no real direction in life, and didn't know what his next move was gonna be. Fiddy saw something in him, put him under his wing, and made Meech and his family millions.
Well, 50 actually came and got me before I even knew I could even act at all, before acting was even a thought. My dad called me one day and told me that he wanted me to fly to Atlanta in his presence so I could meet 50 for the first time and see the first casting that he was doing. You know, so I flew out there and it was lined around the street. And the first time I met 50, you know, it was just genuine. And I sat by him and we actually got to watch people audition for 4 hours. And the next day he called me, 8 o'clock in the morning, woke me up. I'm like, damn, 50 calling me. So I answered the phone, he like, hey, what you think about going to acting classes? I want you to play your dad. And at first, you know, it sounded crazy, but of course, you know, I'm gonna do it. I'm not doing nothing, so of course I wanted to do it, you know, I just didn't know if I could do it.
Lil Meech also claimed that this opportunity meant the world to him, and he would constantly talk about how grateful he was that Fiddy took a chance on him, claiming he'd never take it for granted.
It means the world to me, and I always say this is like life or death for me, I feel like, because that's how serious I take it. Not even more so with the job itself, just so with me telling the story right, because he's still in jail, you know, and he got taken away from me so young and missed my whole teenage childhood. So it's like I want people to know the real him. And that's all he wanted people to know was the real him. People only know what they hear, you know, what their opinion is, what somebody else thinks of him. You know, they don't really know the real Big Meech. This is my big brother, you know, he's my mentor at the same time. He really guided me and helped me throughout the whole way before anybody else believed in me, before my dad even knew I could do it. 50 believed in me, he believed in me. And that, I feel like that meant the most to me, because at the end of the day, no matter how much doubt I had, I always knew in the back of my mind that 50 got my back, you know, and I just wanted to make him my dad proud the most, you know.
And to make it even worse, Lil Meech used to preach about loyalty and claimed he's the type to always stand by the people who looked out for him.
What's the best memory of 50 Cent?
Best memory of 50 Cent? Ever since I met 50 Cent, he's always been stand up and probably the most truthful person I've ever met, you know. Everything he tells me, he stands on it. You know, and that's important in life, loyalty and morals, and actually meaning what you say.
I love that.
And ever since I've known him, he's always meant what he said.
Hell yeah.
Shout out 50 Cent.
But it looks like Lil Meech learned nothing from this situation, and now he's out here trying to spite 50 Cent by hanging out with Rick Ross and Floyd Mayweather. On Friday, February 21st, Lil Meech posted photos of himself with Rick Ross and Floyd Mayweather at Lucky Strike in Miami, and he even threw a little shade at Fiddy with the caption that said, "Real power." But you already know Fiddy wasn't about to let that slide. He clapped back immediately, posting a clip of Lil Meech talking to Ross and cracking jokes about them planning to send a Wingstop care package for Big Meech. Fiddy posted a clip of Lil Meech talking to Ross and wrote, he said, "Yo, tell your pops I'ma look out. What's the address? I'ma send some wings over there." So Fiddy's clearly mocking Lil Meech for thinking Ross is gonna do anything to help him out. And it looks like fans are starting to agree with Fiddy more and more, saying both Big Meech and Lil Meech made the stupidest mistake by going against him. But what's your take? Do you think Fiddy's right about Big Meech being jealous of his son's bond with him? And how do you feel about Lil Meech now hanging out with Rick Ross? Drop your thoughts in the comments and stick around for this next video.